Hi, I'm Lucy Page, and I am the director.
Hi, my name is Adelaide Johnson. I will be producing and ADing for this project.
I am an actress, but I am making my directorial debut with Needle in the Hay.
I am a writer and also a producer in film, so I'll be doing that for this.
I was approached with this project by Will, and he came to me in our acting class and was like, do you want to be the director? And this was before I had read the script, and I was like, sure, why not? I had expressed interest in directing to him and other people in my life, and then I was approached with this, and I was like, I gotta take it. And then after I read the script, I was like, yeah, I'm very excited about this.
I started on this project because the director, Lucy Page, came to me and asked me if I wanted to help and pitch in on this project. I told her that I could help with production, assistant work. So I started doing that with her, and I read the script, really liked it, and thought, let's do it. Met Will, amazing.
Mm-hmm. And we just want to make stuff. We just want to. We heard about this project and we were like, we're hopping on. We want to make stuff. Something that excited me was that this project is not similar, but it has a lot of characteristics and vibes that I like. I love the feel that we're going for with this movie, and I love that it's not just centered around one person. It's about everybody around him and around Brandon, and that it's about loyalty and trust and mistakes, but it's also a very beautiful thing, and there's a lot of passion between all three of these characters that I think is shown in different ways, but I like it. It's about perspective, and that's what I really liked about this project.
So I first read the script, and I thought this theme of a burnt out artist was something so many filmmakers, so many creators can relate to. And while there is such a routine to being a burnt out artist, there is one day where there comes chaos, and it can be literal, it can be figurative. Mm-hmm. And I thought this script captured that very well. Mm-hmm. So I was really excited to kind of change perspective on what that feeling is and how it does feel like chaos at times.
And it's essentially like where we are seeing it within Brandon, we're not really getting, verbal like words from him. We are seeing how it is affecting him, and I think that's more powerful rather than vocalizing it. Mm-hmm. And we're also seeing how this chaos affects people around him, and how one of the other characters brings a lot of chaos into Brandon and Gary's life and how they deal with it. This is something that we can relate to each other with, but my favorite genre is definitely psychological horror.
I'm on the same page. Yeah. I love a supernatural psychological horror film. Yeah.
I love a movie that makes me think and gives me, which is really funny, but that gives me anxiety. Like I like to be sitting there and I'm like, freaking out, and I love that feeling, and I love the eeriness and ominous feel that psychological horror movies give. For example, Hereditary. That is one of my favorite movies. Yeah. Also Parasite.
Those are two of some of my favorite movies as well, both like fantastic films. I love horror. I love when horror intersects with actual like traumatic things that regular people go through outside of the magicalness of horror. I think of like the Babadook in certain movies like that. I think horror can translate kind of the deepest, darkest fears humans can have, and I've always been incredibly interested in that. So I love a horror movie. I love psychological horror.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily say horror. I would say more of a horror look or feel, but it's very dark, and again, it's ominous and smoky, and maybe not. When you think of horror, I guess you think of supernatural or some type of possession. But this film is, I guess it can be horror because this is a horrific thing he's going through. So, like, I guess it would have elements of horror in it.
Yeah. I think there's also that tension of like what's behind the door.
Yeah.
Is the bomb under the table? When is it going to go off?
Yeah.
So I think that tension that we find in horror of like what is going on, there is something that we're building up to, is very prevalent in the script, just by the way that it's written. And then also just the nature of being a torn down person. It can look very gloomy and very dark and very helpless.
Very grimy.
Emulated in horror.
Yeah, for sure.
What is your guilty pleasure movie?
Yeah.
We had the same answer when we talked about this, and it was The Hunger Games.
The Hunger Games and The Maze Runner, but mainly Hunger Games.
The Hunger Games.
Those movies, to be honest with you, I think are cinematic masterpieces. I don't know. I love a dystopian film. Like, I fucking love it. It's one of my favorite things. That is one of my dream roles, is to be in a dystopian movie.
Well done. Okay.
Yay!